my name is Brent here in Cloudy with the Chance of Meeples. Today, we're going to find out what happens in Santa's Workshop all year round leading up to the big day. Today, we are looking at Santa's Workshop, the first Christmas edition. I do believe that this is the second edition of Santa's Workshop, but it is the first Christmas edition of Santa's Workshop, if that makes sense. So Elf Creek Games published now Santa's Workshop, and this was part of their initial print run. We're going to dive into this. I'm going to show you how this game plays. There's two different modes. There's the standard, which would be more just straight family mode, and then there's an advanced mode, which would be more of a gamer mode. I'm going to show you how both of them play in the radar overview. My final forecast coming up. First, cue the thunder. So the radar overview for Santa's Workshop looks like this. I'm going to show you how both the standard rules as well as the advanced rules work, because I think they both work a little bit differently and they'll speak to different groups. So first we're going to start with the standard rules. This is how the game is set up. You're using the side of the board with the green border. You will have, different places in which you can go. The whole point of the game is to build toys, collect reindeer, and to fill your player mat with decorations on your Christmas tree. Of course, you can avoid this altogether and just focus on toys and collecting reindeer, but this is also another way to collect points and gain points and so on and so forth. So each player will start with a different player board. So you have all sorts of amazing artwork from Andrew Bosley: blue, silver, red, gold, as well as green. Whichever one you get, you'll get 3 little elf tokens that look absolutely fantastic. They all have they all have different shapes. So these are the green ones, whereas the red ones look like this. Okay, there you go. But each round, or each game, will take 6 different rounds, and on each round you'll be placing each of your elves out one different time. I'll show you how all of these locations work. They all work the same, and then I'll explain kind of collecting the reindeer and the toys. But on your turn, you'll be placing your workers out to collect different resources to build different toys. So this Jack-in-the-Box needs 2 metal, 3 fabric, and 2 assembly tokens for 9 points, whereas this puzzle is pretty quick and easy: 2 assembly tokens and 1 wood token. Whenever you place your elf out in each of these locations, you'll get what it says. So if I go here, I take then 1 fabric. I would immediately have to put it on one of the toys that I am building. So you'll start with 2 different toys that you can work on. I'll scoot this up a little bit. You'll start with 2 different toys that you can work on, and you'll put the different resources that you're collecting onto one of your toys. If you can never not put it on one of your toys, you can then throw it into the donation center for 1 victory point. Same thing goes for wood. If you're the first player, I should have actually taken 2. If you're the first player in each of these locations, you take 2 of either, metal, wood, cloth, or assembly tokens. Let's say I go here and my opponent then goes here. They would then get 3 of these, but everyone to the left would also gain a victory point because everybody to the left is helping them out. So the gold player would take 3 of these tokens, and then the green player would get 1 victory point. Say I'm the green player and I go here. On a future turn, I would get 4 of these, and then further down, a victory point, a victory point. So each of these locations work the same way. So it's advantageous to go there first. You may not get as many of those tokens, but when other people are going there, you will gain victory points as you go. Okay, so these all work the same. As mentioned, anytime you can't or you take a resource that you don't have room for on one of your toys, you donate it to the donation center. For anything you donate, you get that many victory points. But on a future turn, I could go there and I could take everything that I need from the donation center and place it on toys that I have not yet finished. If I run out of toys, I want to keep building toys. If I go here on the first one, I can take any 3. Anybody else that goes there, they can take only 2. Finally, you have the reindeer. If you're the first one, you can take any of these 3 reindeer and any 2 resource. If you're the second or third, you get 1 reindeer and any one resource. What do you want these reindeer for? Well, at the end of the game, depending on how many different unique reindeer you have, you'll get that many points. So if I have only Donner at the end of the game, I'll get 3 points. Whereas if I have 7 different ones, I'm going to get 20 points. If I have multiple of the same, so if I have 2 Donner, I gain 3 points for the set, and then each additional reindeer would be another 2 points. So that's a set of 2 Donner would then in theory give me 5 points. A round ends when everybody's placed all their elves out. At that point, you take all of your reindeer or all of your elves back and you move to the next round. After the third round, Santa will then show up and he will inspect which elf has done the most work. You'll count up how many finished toys you have, plus how many ornaments you have on your Christmas tree, which I'll speak on momentarily. Whoever has the most will get 8 points, the second most 4, the third most 2, and whoever has the least, who's finished the least, gets 1 victory point. And then you would start round 4, you do it again after round 6, and then that would be the end of the game. I should mention, anytime you finish toys and Santa's inspected them, you would take those finished toys and then you would start filling up Santa's sleigh and you put them all in there. So the final thing is this Christmas tree. If you go there, you can then take one of these really colorful shiny ornaments. Let's say I take this gold one. At that point I flip it over and I would gain whatever it says. I gain a fabric and then I can hang it on my tree. So, maybe I want to cover up 3 points. At that point I gain 3 points. If I go there later on in the game and I take this one, I could take a wood and I need another wood at that point, so I'm going to cover up the wood. So anytime Santa is doing his inspection, he will count up how many finished toys you have, plus how many ornaments you've hung on your tree. And again, whoever has the most gets the highest, whoever's done the least amount of work and least amount of ornaments hung up gets only 1 point. As mentioned, the game ends when you have finished all 6 rounds. Count up your points. On the scoreboard, you'll be adding them as you go. You count up how many points you have with the reindeer cards, and then whoever has the most points is the winner. So that is the rule set for the just standard game of Santa's Workshop. Simple worker placement. Now let's check out the advanced rules. So the advanced rules for Santa's Workshop looks like this. You'll be playing on the red side of the board, and there's a few different locations in which you can go to compared to just the standard version. I will also say that each player would then flip over their player mat until to the side where they have the equipment upgrades. Each player starts with a couple things on the mining tools, the reindeer blankets, and it'll block some of your coal cart. Also, it shows that each of the elves can now be upgraded, and I'll explain how those work momentarily. How this game plays, well, it's pretty much like the just standard version, but in this one, all the reindeer that you're collecting are also going to give you special abilities. So if you get Dasher right away, you would gain 2 fabric tokens, but reindeer are not free, but instead they need to be paid with coal. So in the rounds 1, 2, and 3, round 1, 2, and 3, they're all going to cost 3. 4, 5, and 6, they'll be a little more expensive. They'll cost 4 each, and then the last 3 rounds, they'll be 5 coal each. You gain coal by going to the coal mine. Anytime you go to the coal mine, you'll then fill up your coal cart to however many coal you can hold. At the beginning of the game, you can only hold 6. If you pay 4 wood, you can move up to 9. If you pay if you pay 2 wood, you can move up to 9. If you pay another 4 wood, you can hold 12. At the same time, if you clear your whole cart, you'll gain 4 victory points at the end of the game. What do you need coal for? Well, obviously, to gain reindeer, but you also need coal to go and gain supplies. If you ever go to a place and you're the first one there, you can either, you can pick whichever one you want, pay 1 coal for 2 wood or 2 coal for 3 wood. Same with fabric, same with metal. After that, I can spend a coal to upgrade that elf. At that point, I would look at that. Oh, this is that elf. This is Rumball. I would then add to Rumball's location a wood. So anytime I send Rumball out to gain one of these 3 resources, they will also collect a wood. If I didn't want to upgrade it to wood, I could just flip it over and it would be worth straight 2 points. If I upgrade it again, at the end of the game, it'll be worth 2 points. But again, I could just go straight points all the way across the board. So you can kind of make one really powerful just to get you wood, maybe just to get you fabric, or maybe to get you victory points, or one of 2 different resources. So you can diversify your elves. They will help you out to get different things. You can also use those resources to do equipment upgrades. So if you want, you can spend 2 fabric instead of putting them on toys, 2 fabric to get a reindeer blanket. At that point, anytime you get reindeer, you need 1 less coal. Upgrade it again with another 4 blankets or 4 fabric, then it's a discount of 2 coal whenever you gain reindeers. Of course, if you upgrade both of them, 4 victory points at the end. Same thing goes for the mining cart, but instead of fabric, you need the metal. You do the first one, you get an extra victory point every time you get coal. You do it again, you get 2 victory points every time you collect coal. So those are the upgrades. So you can, again, figure out, do you want to upgrade your blankets right away to really collect all those reindeer and get those set collection really fast? Or do you want to, empty your coal cart so you can take more coal, so you can, not have to use an action to go fill up your coal cart? Different ways to play the game and different things to think about. The assembly tokens, they work a little bit differently as well. If you're the first one, you go there, you gain just 1 token. But if another player goes there, they will get 1 token, and if they want a second one, they would have to give the person to the left 3 victory points. And say I go there again, I can take 1. I could give gold player 2 victory points. I could take a third one then and give myself 3 victory points. So you got to decide, are you going to go here right away and hope that other people will then go there to get more assembly tokens and then give you victory points? Or are you going to wait till other people go there and then you do the same for them? Got to decide that. Of course, this is similar. First one to go there gets 3 toys. Second one, you wipe all 6, you replace and take 2. And then finally, you got the coal. You're the first one to go get coal, you get a victory point. Anybody and everybody can then go get coal again, and in these bigger locations. And then the final one is the Christmas tree. If you're the first person to go there, you get the first player marker for the next round. You start the next round. Whereas you can go here, get a victory point, and then you take one of your matching ornaments. So as the silver player, I would take the 5 silver tokens, and I can then put something on the Christmas tree. At that point, maybe I want 3 victory points and a wood. I would take that, put this on, whatever toy and or one of my coal cart upgrades, and then this would count for Santa's inspection, because after rounds 3, 6, and finally a 9, Santa will come by and look who's completed the most toys plus hung the most ornaments on the tree. Whoever's done the most after round 3 gets 8 victory points. Second most, 4 points. Third most, 2 points. And last is 1. He'll inspect after round 6 as well as round 9 again. Then you'll go into final scoring. You'll reveal all of your reindeer. Set collection once again, depending on how many unique reindeer you have, will reflect how many points. So if you have 3 different ones, you get 6. If you have one of each of them, you get 25. So collecting these can get you a lot of points as well. And there you have it. That in a nutshell is how to play Santa's Workshop. With the 2 and the 3 player variants, there are Santa's helpers. You will take one of these little characters and it'll give you a 4th quote unquote elf. They can't be upgraded, but they count as elves for all intents and purposes. And so that's how you play Santa's Workshop. I will also show you the components in this. Are fantastic. These little wood, they have this little, it looks like wood grains in them. I can't show you this, but the fabric, they feel a little like, not velvety, but they feel really, really smooth. And then you have, of course, the metal is nice and shiny. Overall components in this, artwork, absolutely amazing. That we know it is from Elf Creek Games. So there you have it. That is Santa's Workshop, the advanced version. Let's move on over now and take a look at the final forecast. So the final forecast for Santa's Workshop, worker placement game, all about creating toys and getting ready for Christmas. I get it. It's March. Not many are thinking of Christmas. But this game makes me excited for Christmas. Okay, let's talk about components. Elf Creek Games, they make fantastic components in their games. Honey Buzz, game I love it. Fantastic components. This is no different. No exception here. You have, different shaped meeples, elves. You have the helper elves, which, let's be honest, this tiny little sparkle, see if I can get it out. This tiny little meeple of this fairy, or you get the snowman, Perry, and Zelf, this little guy, an elf on his head, just silliness. Okay, fantastic components. They're just great artwork. I love it that all these Santa cards, they're written, quote unquote, from different kids. So, for example, this Georgette wants a puzzle. You got, and I'm not even going to read some of these names because I don't want to say them wrong. But Gunther wants a wagon. And what else is Ermengarde wants a tea set. Gerhard wants a Jack-in-the-Box. And then you have Wemmer wants a truck. Doris wants jacks. Just like Henrietta wants bow and arrow. Just every one of these letters to Santa from quote-unquote kids, they're all different. They're all quote-unquote written from a different kid. It just reminds me of being a kid and getting excited and writing letters to Santa. It was my parents. But, that excitement is in this box. Kids are going to be drawn to this game. They're going to be drawn to the components, to this little sleigh that you get to put your, finished toys in at the end of each round so that Santa can deliver them. It's got this amazing artwork. Andrew Bozzi artwork, fantastic. Each of the player boards has different artworks. And each of the elves all have different names. You got Mistletoe, Spruce, and Berry, Flurry, Bro, and Blinky. And it's just the attention to detail in this is just fantastic. But let's get to gameplay. Worker placement, my favorite game mechanic. Something about got your workers, putting them on different places on the board, gaining resources, activating different things, whatever you have. This has the advanced mode and the standard mode. Let's talk about the standard mode first, and then we'll move into the advanced. We'll probably go back and forth. But the standard mode plays in 6 rounds. And this could be, to me, a first worker placement. And it says, I think, 6+ on the box. And I can't imagine that I would, 6 plus 30 minutes, 2 to 5. I wouldn't imagine that I would just give this to, my 7-year-old and her friends, and they would just be able to play. No, this is you're playing as a family with your kids at the age of 6. You got that standard mode where, regardless of where you're putting out your meeples or your little elves, you're gaining something. Whether you're gaining tokens that you can't use, but you can donate them and get victory points for them, or you're collecting those reindeer cards, which kids will want to collect because they're so adorable, and each one of them is a unique artwork. and just everything about it. Your kids are going to have, the things. Oh, I'm collecting wood because I want to build this wagon. Oh, I'm collecting cloth because I'm building this doll. Like, there's just that, the satisfaction and the excitement of building those things and collecting those resources. And then, of course, you have those ornaments that you can collect and then put them on your board, and you're building your own Christmas tree with these shiny tokens that, shimmer and look like lights, and you're covering up different resources to gain those resources to help you build these things. It teaches a little bit of forward planning. It teaches just set collection. There's just so many fun things in this that it can teach. It plays 6 rounds, and it's just a lot of fun. And as your kids grow up, you'll be able to flip that board over, and you'll be able to play that advanced mode. I played both the advanced, I played the standard. That advanced mode, you then can decide, are you going to upgrade your coal cart as quickly as possible, so every time you get coal, you get the most amount, and then you don't have to go there as often, so you can use that coal to gain reindeer and do set collection for those reindeer, or it gives you more opportunity then to use that coal to get other resources quicker, so you don't have to go there as often. There's just things to think about. Do you upgrade your elves? Do you do each one of your 3 elves for wood, cloth, and metal, so that each of them are really good at one specific thing? Or do you mix and match, so every time you're putting out those elves, you're gaining other resources that you will need? Or do you just go straight victory points? I've done all of it. I've seen them all be viable ways to play this game. Of course, you have your mining carts, you have your reindeer blankets. You can upgrade those so that every time you go get coal, you get victory points. Or those reindeers that you want to collect, you don't have to spend as much coal. There's just different things to think about, and I love it. And then, of course, you got to take your ornaments and put them on the tree. So in the standard one, you're taking ornaments off a main tree, putting on your own board. And then in the advance, you have your own decorations that you are putting on. And those decorations will help you potentially get the bonuses from Santa after the 3rd, 6th, and 9th round. So you got to decide when you're going to go and decorate the tree, because you want to get first in that inspection, quote unquote, when Santa comes and looks, and then you get to take all the finished toys, and like I said, you get to put them into the sleigh. There's just something fun about adding to that sleigh. Just the thematic elements is just fantastic. I really love all of the reindeer cards, especially in the advanced mode, because they give you special abilities. And some of them are really powerful, just straight victory points, whereas others will let you gain up to 3 resources, and you can then really build some of these bigger toys. Overall, this is just a fantastic game. I'm excited for families to get into this game and watch their kids grow in board gaming on a theme that kids are going to love. I remember I taught this to, another dad and his 2 boys. And I was like, hey, I'm going to come over. I'm going to bring Santas Workshop. And he's like, really? You're bringing Santas Workshop? I brought it down, and as we're playing, he's like, man, this is really good. There's a guy who's playing TI4 and Scythe, and he's playing Santa's Workshop with his sons and me and my son, and we're all having an amazing time. That's what board games can do, and that's what Santa's Workshop can do, I feel. It can bring kids and parents together and create long-lasting memories. So I highly recommend checking out Santa's Workshop. I'm going to give it an 80% chance of meeples. It's fantastic. It's really good. And I'm also really excited that I recently spoke with Keith Ferguson, and he's already working on more reindeer and more toy cards that can be thrown into the mix. And so hopefully we'll see more things for Santa's Workshop. But I highly recommend it. I know it's March, Christmas, December, months away. But if you're already thinking, man, I would love to get a game for this family, or, these nieces and nephews, or for your own family, don't sleep on Santa's Workshop. Fantastic game. Standard mode, great. Advanced mode, great. 80% chance of meeples. Check it out. My name is Brent. Check us out on Facebook. Cloudy with a Chance of Meeples. Till next time, grab your umbrella. The forecast is cloudy with a chance of meeples.